Hey y'all, welcome in. There's Hillary. Hey Hillary, everybody say hi to Hillary.
Yes, she's
Making a guest
recording.
appearance here on The Bros Watch
I hope that
The
stays in there.
Boys. Um,
Well,
Hillary, stop
uh,
talking now. We can't hear you. Anyways, welcome in to season 2 slash episode 3 recap of The Boys.
close the door.
This is. Should we start again or just keep going?
Let's just keep going.
Okay, we
I'm
keep
happy
going.
with that. Let's keep going.
Welcome into the Bros Watch the Boys. Again, this is season 2, episode 3 breakdown. Um, if you haven't already joined us here on the pod slash YouTube show, whatever you want to call it, major spoiler alert. Um, so,
Yes.
bro, episode 3 comes out swinging for the fences. Where do you want to start?
Uh, well, they start out on the boat, right? They start out with Huey having some emotional crisis. I mean, very, very understandable. He's got PTSD from a few things that have happened to him, probably, and he
And
needs.
apparently he's a big Billy Joel guy.
Well, I think we already knew that. They've been playing Billy Joel in like every episode so far. But I I immediately got a gigantic smile on my face because of something that we're going to talk about a little later, and it's because of the boat. It's
Oh yeah. Oh,
the boat is
it's
very key to something that happens.
very much because of the boat.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. We've got Kimiko's brother on the boat. They're 3 miles offshore. Butcher's in contact with Mallory, um, working on the deal. They say you got to bring him in. Um, we go. They go to bring him in. A little bit before that part, we see the deep with the culty therapist lady and the eagle, and culty therapist lady comes in, says, "Guess what? Here's your chance to get back in." Referring to them being out on the boat after they crash a police helicopter, because why not?
Well, Butcher
And
screwed that one because he stole a boat,
he did
and
steal a
not
boat. He
because
did steal a boat.
he didn't
But
borrow a
listen,
boat.
strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Yeah. That's
So we get the scene that everybody was talking about from the trailer, from the Comic Con footage they released.
Yep.
We get we get the scene of the boat and the boys going through Lucy the whale, and
Lucy.
I think this is the first time that everybody has joined Huey in being covered in blood and guts. Um,
Yeah, they're finally getting a taste of the blood, but Huey is the only one that is finally just like, I'm done. I'm good.
he,
I'm
he
just gonna
was
sit here for a while."
he was such a broken man by this point that he was willing to stay inside of Lucy the whale as she died. Um,
Yep.
and I mean, this episode kind of went off the rails a little bit midway through, beginning with that scene. Um,
There was
where
also the revelation that Compound V is now out in the open. That
that's right. That's right.
it
We
was
hit the
created.
airwaves.
Yeah,
We
so that's big.
so we see them work in crisis management. We don't really get confirmation that Starlight was the one who leaked it. We're kind of led to
Yeah,
believe that I have a feeling she wasn't the one who leaked it. Um, sneaking
it seemed
suspicion.
accidental almost. So I'm wondering where,
Right.
and maybe even A Train was the one to leak it because he was like, "Hey, I can use this as a position of power." I they obviously framed it in a way that we're supposed to think that it's Starlight, but she
Right.
doesn't really react in a way that would say like, "Yes, we did it."
And as we have said before, um, all bets are off. They can go anywhere with the storyline at any moment, which is one of the reasons we love the show.
Yep,
Um, let's jump.
and that
Let's
does
jump.
happen.
Let's jump. We get a little bit of backstory on Kimiko. Why she doesn't talk. She just after her, her brother mentions to Frenchie that um, she just went catatonic after their parents got killed. So there's no actual reason why she doesn't speak.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
even the sign language, looks a little different because it's their own personal sign language.
yes, and something that's interesting is Karen Fukuhara, who plays Kimiko. She actually worked with a sign language interpreter to craft their own language, and I recognized it a few times when she was trying to speak or speak with her language. That I was like, that's not ASL,
Right.
which is most commonly used. but
Yeah, it
they,
definitely looks. It definitely did look a little different.
yeah.
So I think. Well, let's just go ahead after we get Lucy the Whale. Um, the boys escape into the storm drain, and this is the first time that we
Well,
see.
can we pause there?
Yeah.
Also, something that's really important is Frenchie and Mother's Milk absolutely loved Huey for exposing
Yes.
Compound V.
Yes.
They were all like, "Yes, we finally did it. We finally got it out in the open."
And again, this I think it goes more to that group dynamic that we talked about last episode, where they're not totally sure if they want to follow Butcher anymore.
Yeah.
They know that he's a strong leader, and that when he makes up his mind to do something, they're ready to do it. But it can sometimes be misguided, I guess would be the way to say it. And the fact that he doesn't give Huey any love every time Huey does something, I think
Yeah.
has started to weigh on the group a little bit. But we're in the storm tunnels. We get Starlight comes up on Huey as they're kind of running away, and he he mentions leaving her a message on the phone in which he basically confesses his love for her, and we know that she didn't get it, but he doesn't know that, and looks like she kind of gives him a little attack there, because she knows that Homelander's watching, even though Huey
Yeah.
doesn't. And so, obviously, I mean, she takes it easy on him because she likes him. And then we get the last 15 minutes of that episode were really action packed. We get Kimiko's brother kind of drops a bunch of cars and bridge and tunnel stuff on Homelander and escapes away. And this is the first time we get to see Stormfront in action.
And her true colors emerge.
Very much her true colors.
Her very true colors emerge.
Oh, this crazy bitch. Um, you know, Listen, Stormfront is a problem. Her powers are very strong.
Yeah, she seems to be extremely strong, and I, I don't know if I said this on podcast, but I had told you that I was like 99% sure that she was some sort of Nazi white supremacist based on her name alone, and we get that in this episode. We see that she's very strong. She can take out other supes fairly easily.
Oh, very easily.
And then we see just how racist she is by literally just killing a building full of black people and then saying a very racist thing to Kimiko's brother.
Yeah,
as she is killing him.
As if her unwarrantedly killing a black family.
Yeah,
for no reason as they go through the projects. Then we see her drop a little racial epithet for us as she kills Kimiko's brother. Also, the fact that she snapped his wrist in half, that was a big time holy shit moment for me. That looked brutal, and then she chokes him.
I like that they do it, like, if someone was that strong, that's what would happen. You would just, they just Pez dispenser off of your arm, right?
Yeah, and we definitely get that, and then, she says something very unflattering to someone of Asian descent, and and I think the very end was very interesting because as she's given the thank you press conference, Homelander is furious.
Yes, because he's had a lot of things happen in rejection. He got rejected by the company. He got rejected by Ryan, who was like, I fucking hate you. I don't want anything to do with you.
We also got to talk about that in a second.
And he finally gets this where it looks like she's taking over his spot in the Seven. And also, since Edgar is backing her over Homelander, that starts to look his man-child complex is going to start to break down. He's going to lose it.
And I'm glad you mentioned about Ryan, his son, because we we skipped over that one on accident. He shoves his own kid off the roof of the house.
Yeah, he just
says, "Oh, you're just gonna fly."
Feet.
No, you're just gonna fly.
It's only 20 feet, right?
Obviously, the kid doesn't fly. He falls face down. His mom, Becca, gets in Homelander's face, and Homelander grabs her by the wrist, and Ryan did not like that. Is strong enough as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid to to shove Homelander to the ground, and then we see the laser eyes starting to fire up, even though he didn't use them.
Yeah.
So,
Which is interesting. We don't know how Homelander would react to his own lasers.
I mean, yeah. I would assume that, last episode we text kind of, does his son even have powers? Da, 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 da. So now we get confirmation that the son does have the powers. And, I think now we have to assume that Ryan's going to play a major part in the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because we know that he's got Homelander's powers.
Mm-hmm. And they haven't really mentioned it, but it almost seemed like a lot of the Supes were infertile. So for him to have a child, like you would think that other people would have kids, right? Like other Supes at this point would definitely have had kids since they've been doing this since like World War II.
Sure.
But we don't really see that, and that's kind of an interesting thing. Like why Homelander? Why was it?
Yeah, and
Ryan,
I think we might get some of that. They mentioned the original scientist, kind of off like in a news report during this one. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get some of that later. Some of the original scientists that worked on it maybe coming out and saying, "This is what it's meant to be. This is what it does exactly." Again, I think all bets are off with the show at all times. The story can go anywhere. But this episode, I think, the front half was a lot of storytelling, and the back half we got a lot of big action and big turning points. And I think the Stormfront like full reveal of her being like super racist, I think is gonna really, and her kind of playing that up, playing the part up in front of like being a strong feminist role on camera, I think is gonna be. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. And I think she comes across as a feminist on parts of her persona because she is very aggressive and like out in front with her views. But if you pay close attention, she blames Star, God damn it, Starlight?
Yeah.
I lost it for a second. I was like, is that right? She blamed her for her sexual assault with the Deep, right? So that's not really a feminist ideology,
right? But on camera,
yes,
she's playing
camera,
the big time strong feminist role.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just another layer of like we know all those Supes at the top are really bad, and they kind of like they tease a little bit of her personality as it goes. Also, I gotta say, we got another milk moment.
That was gonna be the last. That was gonna be the last thing I read because he wanted to.
Yeah, he wanted to savor that so bad. He
did.
just does a little sip and like turns just like and then like
he
wanted to take longer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he wanted it.
Yeah. He wanted to just sit there and like have some alone time. He can't get any alone time with his milk, Tim. Where is he gonna get alone time?
Can't Homelander just enjoy his milk on his own?
Yeah, can't he just take a gallon of milk, fly up a few miles, and then just drink it?
And really, folks, if you don't take anything else away from this podcast, take this away from you. Enjoy your milk time.
Yeah, you find your personal milk moment, whatever that may be.
And that's what we're here for. So thanks for joining us in season 2 episode 3 recap. We'll be back on hopefully Friday when the next episode drops, and so hopefully we'll get another quick recap and pod put out for you. So. Thanks for joining us here on The Bros Watch the Boys, and we'll be back on Friday. Peace.